What's up guys, Rob from Whitelines here and welcome back to our new series of quickfire Quiver reviews. We're going to be taking a look at some of our favorite collections from the top brands across the snowboard industry and diving into some of the nuances and differences between them so you can get your hands on your perfect setup this winter. And today I've got one of the raddest series of snowboards behind me here. This is CAPiTA's Spring Break lineup, a dedicated fleet of bespoke powder snowboards with different shapes and different personalities to suit different styles of rider. We've got to wind the clock back more than 10 years to when Corey Smith moved up to Tahoe and began handcrafting experimental snowboard shapes. And at the time, some of these boards were super functional powder decks, while others were purely conceptual and experimental shapes. But fast forward to winter 2023 and the Spring Break collection has evolved into one of the finest powder-specific lines out there. So let me break them down and help you decide which one of these bad boys to get your bindings on. So let's go straight into the top end offering in the line. This right here is the Ultralight Powder Displacement Snowcraft, and what a thing of beauty she is. It's the most expensive Spring Break option and it comes with 3 different tail shapes to choose from, but every single one is optimized for riding the deepest possible conditions you can find. I've got the diamond tail version with me here, and the first thing to note is just how unbelievably light this thing is. The wood core is CAPiTA's top level offering, and actually the whole construction is just stacked with really impressive tech, and that keeps it light, reactive and stable at speeds. It's only got a flex rating of 6 out of 10, but the sheer volume and directional shape of it mean that it's going to be at its best when you're banking high speed, wide open turns in powder bowls. And it's just made to float. Check out the camber here. So you've got flat between the inserts, and then there's this huge rocker zone out in front of the nose and back at the tail. Now this is just going to bounce and skim and glide its way over absolutely everything. Size-wise, you're somewhat limited with the Ultralight. So the powder pill and the powder glider only come in a 158, and the diamond tail here comes in a 154. So if you're a lighter, smaller rider, you might want to consider this option. But the dimensions on every model are actually pretty specific. So if you have any questions about which one is best for you, drop a comment down below and I'll help you out. Now, if you're liking the sound of the Ultralight boards, but you're either limited in your size options or your budget, this could be the one for you. It goes from a 149 right up to a 157, and the core has been ever so slightly spec'd back with a 5 out of 10 flex rating. But the shape actually leans quite heavily on the Ultralight series, and there is still so much on offer here. I'd actually say that the Powder Racer is a more versatile board, so it's something you want to take out in a wider variety of conditions. For starters, this season's model now features positive camber in between the inserts, which gives you some grip and firepower underfoot. And if you cut it open, you'd also find cork configured into the core in this kind of X-cross style layout. Now cork's used on quite a few boards these days and it's got great dampening properties. So when you consider that you won't just want to ride this on lower powder days, you'll also benefit from having a board that handles rough terrain pretty well. This is a real best of both worlds kind of snowboard, with a shape that can blast through pow and a profile and construction that can keep on pushing long after the last snowfall. Right, so on to something a little different, the Powder Twin. Now this is a board I've ridden a lot over the last few years for the simple reason that I can take it out almost anywhere on the mountain and it is so damn fun to ride. And I think there's 2 kind of riders who are going to especially dig this board. Freestylers looking to take their spins and butters and creativity into the powder, and larger footed riders who want a super fun and stable park board to ride in resort. Or like me, maybe you're a bit of both. You can see that it's got a true twin shape, and the same goes for its flex and construction. And these are the telltale signs of a freestyle or a park focused board. But factor in that it's also got this super wide volume shifted outline, and all that extra surface area generates lift in the powder without relying on setback stances or aggressive tapers. Construction wise, it's got some extra snap at the nose and tail, as well as a blend of camber with flat sections just outside the inserts going into rocker. And then the flex rating for this one comes in at a 5 out of 10. It's possibly the most versatile of the Spring Break boards in that it can be used for a combination of piste, park and powder riding. But truthfully, it's a great board even if you're just riding in one of these areas, providing you're bringing that freestyle into it. And lastly, who could forget the runt of the litter? The Slush Slasher is probably the most recognized board in the Spring Break series. It's coming in a range of new sizes for this year, starting at a super punchy 139, going right up to a 151. But whoever you are, you need to be downsizing for this board. It's short, it's wide, and it's designed for total mayhem in and around the resort. There's some great changes for this year's model too. It's got a deeper side cut for cranking tighter and shorter turns, and then that positive camber that runs through the midsection means that even for its stubby dimensions, you can still crank a carve and really go for it no matter what the conditions. This board actually made it into our top 100 products of the year this season, and all of our test team were fighting over who got to take it out for those late season spring laps through the park and down the pistes. Honestly, I cannot think of another board that packs this much fun into such a small space. Right, so that is the Spring Break series. Now, which one should you get? Well, if money were no object, I'd want to have each of these in the locker, but if you're looking for something really special to take out on the absolute best powder days of the season, then the Ultralight board here will elevate that experience close to perfection. But if you're looking to save a bit of cash, still capitalize on those days, and have something to ride in the resort, then the Powder Racer here will be my pick. If, however, you're wanting to prioritize freestyle, be that in the park or out in the side country, then the Powder Twin is definitely the one for you. And lastly, if you're just looking for pure carnage, loose vibes, and one of the wildest rides in the snowboard industry, the Slush Slasher is liquid snowboarding. So fun to ride. I'll stick some links down below for more in-depth reviews and also where you can buy these boards. And if you want to know anything about the Spring Break series, then just drop your questions down below as well. Cheers for watching, everyone, and see you next time.